Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's diagnostic breakdown, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and leave a thumbs up if you find our content helpful. It really supports the channel and allows us to keep producing these detailed automotive troubleshooting guides every week. Today, we are taking a deep dive into one of the most frustrating engine problems a mechanic or DIer can face: low cylinder compression. An engine needs three core elements to run smoothly: spark, fuel, and compression. When compression fails, your engine simply cannot squeeze the air-fuel mixture effectively, resulting in poor combustion or complete misfires. In this video, we are going to break down the primary symptoms of low compression, explain why a standard compression test isn't always enough, and walk you step by step through a complete cylinder leak down test so you can pinpoint the exact component causing the leak. To understand why low compression causes so many issues, it helps to remember how an internal combustion engine works. During the compression stroke, both the intake and exhaust valves seal tightly while the piston travels up toward the top of the cylinder. This squeezes the trapped air-fuel mixture into a tight, highly pressurized pocket right before the spark plug fires. If any component in that closed chamber fails to hold a seal, whether it is a burned valve, a worn piston ring, or a blown head gasket, that vital pressure escapes. The symptoms of low compression can range from subtle annoyances to severe drivability issues. One of the most immediate red flags is a persistent engine misfire that does not disappear when you replace spark plugs, ignition coils, or fuel injectors. You will often experience a rough, shaking idle, sluggish acceleration under load, and an overall loss of engine horsepower. In addition to misfires and power loss, low compression can cause severe starting difficulties. If multiple cylinders are low on compression, the engine will crank over noticeably faster than usual because there is very little physical resistance opposing the starter motor. The car may struggle to start when cold, or crank endlessly without firing. Furthermore, if compression is escaping past worn piston rings into the lower engine crankcase, you will notice excessive blow-by. This excess pressure forces oil vapor out of your oil filler cap, pushes oil past engine seals, or sends oily smoke into the intake through the ventilation system. If the loss of compression is caused by a burned exhaust valve or a blown head gasket, you may also notice raw fuel burning inside the exhaust pipe, sweet-smelling white exhaust smoke, or bubbling inside your radiator coolant expansion tank. While a traditional dry and wet compression test tells you that a cylinder has low pressure, it cannot tell you where the air is escaping. That is where a cylinder leak down test comes in. A leak down tester feeds regulated compressed air directly into the cylinder through the spark plug hole while the engine is stationary. By measuring how much air leaks out as a percentage and listening for where that air escapes, you can diagnose the exact mechanical failure without taking the engine apart. To perform the test, you will need an air compressor, a dual-gauge leak down tester kit, basic hand tools, and a long screwdriver or drinking straw to help find top dead center. To begin the test safely, start the engine and let it run until it reaches normal operating temperature, then turn it off. Warm metal surfaces and pliable valve seals ensure accurate test results. Next, disable the ignition system and fuel pump so the car cannot start accidentally, and remove all the spark plugs. Pick the specific cylinder you want to test first. You must rotate the engine manually using a breaker bar on the crankshaft harmonic balancer bolt until that target cylinder is at top dead center on its compression stroke. This step is critical because at top dead center on the compression stroke, both the intake and exhaust valves are completely closed, and the piston is at its highest position. You can verify this by placing a long wooden dowel or straw into the spark plug hole and watching it reach its peak height while ensuring both valves have zero tension on their rocker arms or camshaft lobes. Once the cylinder is set to top dead center, connect your leak down tester to your shop air compressor and calibrate the primary regulator knob so the secondary gauge reads 0% leakage. Next, carefully thread the tester's adapter hose into the target cylinder's spark plug port. When you connect the air tester to the hose, shop air will fill the sealed cylinder. Hold the breaker bar firmly on the crankshaft bolt, because the air pressure will try to push the piston down if it is slightly off-center. Look at the secondary gauge on your leak down tester. A healthy, fresh engine will typically show between 3 to 8% leakage. Anything under 15% is generally acceptable for a high-mileage daily driver. However, If the gauge reads 20, 30, or even 50% leakage or higher, you have a severe mechanical breach inside that cylinder. Now comes the most important part of the diagnostic: finding where the air is escaping. Listen closely at 4 key areas around the vehicle. First, remove the air intake boot and listen at the open throttle body. If you hear a distinct hissing sound of air rushing out through the intake manifold, your intake valve is bent, burned, or coated in carbon deposits preventing it from seating fully.